All right, so this problem is in that big review packet, number 13, the one about the forest. So basically, you've got this forest that's got 4,000 trees. All right, so I'm going to think of this as a sequence, as a kind of as a recursive sequence. Let's fix that. That's better. A recursive sequence. Now the first term is 4,000. All right. Now, so basically every year we're going to harvest 20% of the trees, which means we would have 80% of the trees remaining, and then plant 1,000 new trees. So if we think about the second term, that's going to be 1 year later, 20% of the trees are going to be gone. So that means I'm going to take my 4,000 and multiply it by 0.8, because I want to know how many trees left. That's what I want this sequence to represent. That 40,000 times 0.8 will be the trees remaining after you harvest 20%, plus the 1,000 that we're replacing. Okay. And if we think about that, we get 3,200 plus 1,000, which is 4,200. We could do this again. The third year would now be 4,200 times 0.8 plus 1,000. Okay. And that's going to equal 3,360 plus 1,000. So that's 4,360, etc., etc. Okay, so on our calculator, what do we need to be able to plug this in on our calculator. Okay. All right, so here's what your calculator should look like. Right, so we've got our initial term is 4,000, and then you do u1 of n minus 1, so the previous term times 0.8 plus 1,000. All right, so again, essentially what we want to figure out is what's going to happen to this forest in the long run. All right, is it going to eventually run out of trees? Is it going to keep growing infinitely? We can see so far it's gone from 4,000 to 4,200 to 4,360, so it seems to be getting bigger. That's good news. So we'll go to our table on the calculator, and when you hit Control-T for the table, just start scrolling down. And eventually what you'll see is it seems like the forest levels off around 5,000 trees, right? Every year we take 20%, which is a little below ends up being a little below 4,000, and then you add 1,000 back, so we get close to 5,000 again. When we do that process, it keeps repeating. We're balanced out at 5,000 trees. Okay, so I would say that sounds like a pretty good result for this forest. We gained some trees. We're definitely not losing them. It doesn't become overrun with trees. So that's kind of the solution that I would say is I would vote for this if I were on the local planning commission. The other thing we can take a look at is the actual graph of the sequence. And if we pull that up, you have to get rid of the table and then change your window. So you can see that, as the years go by, the amount of trees levels off here, right at 5,000. Okay, thanks for watching.